this is going to be another spreadsheet video. I know I haven't posted any videos. I've actually recorded a lot of videos on the backlog and just haven't posted them. I've had a few technical difficulties with recording videos. I've recorded actually a couple of videos with the input set not on the Bluetooth microphone. So unfortunately, those videos are probably not going to be reshot. But anyways, we're going to look past that. Starting off today, I'm actually going to be doing a vendor list. So, as many of you guys may know, I work in the film industry, and this is a vendor list program or spreadsheet that I've created so that at the end of a commercial, show, feature, whatever you have a list of all the vendors that you've used. And typically in the film industry, this is helpful for tracking down all the vendors that you used for previous productions. So these are some old vendors that I have from a previous project. Most of this information is kind of all jumbled together, so you won't be able to kind of understand what some of these things are. But yeah, typically a vendor list is needed. More on the studio side, if you're doing kind of bigger movies, you'll understand that they need kind of a backup of every single vendor they've used, because in case of pickups or other deals, they may want to go back to those vendors and see who you contacted. So yeah, let me break down kind of how this spreadsheet works, why I think it's the best, why it's efficient. But essentially what I made is kind of a system, and I've been kind of tweaking it as I've been going on. But it's been harder to work on this spreadsheet because I don't use it as often as others, because I normally don't have a million vendors. But let me break it out to you. So this spreadsheet right here is a input sheet. So usually when I get a vendor, they're like, oh hey, we're gonna use this vendor. So I'll put them in at the bottom here. So these ones are all colored differently. So let's just say, hey, this, and I'm gonna go here with the address template, and I'll say this is California, CA90233 or something like that. Then I'll say the contact's name is Jeremy. Category, I'm gonna say this is camera department. Email, I'm just gonna say ZZ. Phone, 123 456 78910. And department, actually this should be department, so I'll have to switch that up later. Camera, I'll say category, this is gonna be lenses. And this, I should say visible. So now, if I go to here, testing, okay, this is just a data sheet, so that should be over here. It should more be like this, I believe, is the setup. Let me do a quick adjustment. So it's going to be red, yellow, this is going to be more like, this is going to be orange, this is going to be yellow, and this is going to be green. Okay, so typically you input this here. This is our vendor. This kind of cleans things up and you can't tell, but it cleans things up. They capitalize all the names and you put an address in a specific format, but it seems like it didn't put it in a specific format, and then it puts it in a different format here, and then it shoots it out in this particular format. So anytime so if I go here and I say this is camera, it should list all the things that are listed as camera, and that vendor Jason should be listed here, but it seems like it's not. Why is that? See, let's go check it out. Interesting. best concept is, I think the best way to do it would be to put it in this address format. I wonder if I can even just make this more apparent that there should be a specific format for it. I think what I'll do is I'll make the first column a template column, I'll make the first row a example of how to input it, and just clarify this is how you put it in. And that way, following this, people can just remember to put it in this format, because it'll look better. And I think let's not do proper. I think proper will ruin it, and I think we could maybe fix it later. So anyways, here it should now go in like this. Looks good. Unless I wanted to break it up, obviously, into street and city, and I just don't think I need all of that. I think this is enough information that I do need, but there's some small tweaks that I need to make on some things. That's perfect. And then these contacts should also be technically bold as well, which that is bold. That is not bold. This is bold. That is not bold. That is not bold. So it looks like I need to actually pull all of these references here. So this is proper, that's good. And this one should be, let's clear this out. This should be not proper. This should be all upper, if anything. Upper, boom. Actually, and this needs to move A, B, C, D, F, one more cell over. That's perfect, all lower, and this is already, this I believe is already formatted, if I believe, oh, maybe not. But this should have a following format. I have a formula to clean up phone numbers, so I will put that one in a second. But I think for now what I'll do is I'll put this in as phone, and this should be all lower basically, and this should be moved over. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H is the next one, H is the next one, and I just realized this needs to be changed to, I'm going to say type. That sounds better to me, and this department should also be changed, so we'll go ahead and take this, and A, B, C, D, F, I is the next column, I is the next column, perfect. And this gives us that, which is perfect. So now, if I go here, so once this kind of cleans it up, this is kind of a buffer. As you can see, I use it as a buffer because I want specific formatting things, and I want things to kind of automate. So, like I said before, this is just for people to put in whatever it is, a data spreadsheet. You throw in as much things as you can, and this one will basically format things correctly and break things up correctly. For example, I'm going to throw in a formula here to fix the phone numbers. Yeah, especially for ones that have multiple phone numbers, I probably would want to fix it up a bit. And then also this column, but it just trims it and cleans it up and makes it look all kosher. And then after that, what it does is, I think this is another buffer, and this is the final format, if I recall. Let's just see. Yep. Yes. So this puts everything together in a different format. So as you can see here, this one puts together the format of which I want things to look. So it takes everything from cleaner buffer. In this case, it takes the vendor name, puts it in complete caps. It puts the address in complete caps, or in complete lower from cleaner buffer, and then it puts the contact next to a name, and then it puts the email. So it's putting all these things in place. So if you can read it here line by line, it goes array formula, upper, CNC, and a space, a downward space plus enter. That's why it skips to the next line. address is nothing but nothing. And then if the address is something, put the address and then another space next line. If the next line is blank, put nothing, and if it is not, then put contact, colon, the contact number, space, enter a space. If the phone number, which I believe is G, is blank, put blank, and if it is not, oh, I guess this is email. If the email is blank, put blank, and if it's not, put E, which is email, colon, the actual email, and then blank, space, and then another space. And what this does is it essentially gives the column height a space. And what that does is that way I can put the cells right below each other without needing to excuse me, without needing to put a space in between each vendor on the other sheet. So anyways, that's that. And I believe this is just pulling, yeah, this is just an example to pull up the O's. This, I believe, doesn't need to pull anything, but I'm putting this here. Yeah, this is funny. I'm actually just looking up this information and splitting it up. So this is literally looking up this left information. This is VLOOKUP left, find the character, and then the search, which is B to B to B, and then -1, give me the sixth thing to pull up, which is of course pulling up from here. It's looking up the name. So what this one's doing is it's looking up the name of this, and the character, which I believe actually is, what character is find character 10? I believe it's the first left. Anyways, let's find this in left, and then minus that. And then it's saying to look it up and clean a buffer and return the sixth thing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the phone number. And that's essentially what it's doing for all of these three. And the reason I'm doing that is because I think I use a relation for that here. Yep. So this is the same thing. It's essentially V looking up the first name of this and then pulling the phone number. And the reason for this, of why I'm doing it this way, is because typically they'll want all the phone numbers on this side. So I need to find what this name is and then put the phone number existing to it in the column next to it. And I need it to be simultaneously the exact one as this one. Otherwise, it's not going to find it. So that's why I'm matching the testing block to put the phone number here. So that way it's always connected next to each other one by one. And so if I pull this one, it is connected one by one. So anyways, it is, yes, quite some thinking, but this is the final product of what this looks like. You can put stuff up here and up there if you want, but I think it looks pretty good. I really wish that the front portion would at least be bolded or underlined, but I don't believe that is a process that we can do. The other great thing about this is that I can actually pull stuff off of it. So if I go back here and I don't want ARC document solutions, so if I go over here and I go to ARC document solutions, let's see where that is at. Art. Where's that? This one. Okay, and if I don't want this visible, let's say I want this hidden, I believe that should pull it off the list, correct? So that pulled it off the list and then moved everything up one. So that's helpful. So now it's back. Perfect. And this is just like a good way to kind of see everything in one place and more organized. You obviously here can, depending on the department here that you have, you can, change it up. You can, you can make it, in different orders. You can organize it in different orders as long as you organize all of these lists together. And then that way it will never remove and mess this page up. And then it prints for questions, feel free to reach out and comment. I'm hoping that this one will, I'm hoping this one will spark some questions. All these addresses and contacts infos are public information, so just let me know if you guys have any questions. Alright, great. Hope you guys have